Yebo Yebo Bafana. Yeah, we are back in Thogoto. It's Thogoto land. Thogoto. I hear there's nothing in Kikuyu called Thogoto. It's a confusion of Scotland, right? So Scotland, Thogoto land. That's what somebody told me that comes from here. Actually, we are the grave site of where all these people were buried across the Church of the Torch, right? And the other church that are covered before. The other church is called the PCEA. You know, the PCEA, Presbyterian Church of East Africa. So this is the burial site of where a lot of these guys were buried. Here there's, if you can see behind me right here, there's Munyo Wayaki. We used to read about this guy in the history books, right? Yeah, Munyo Wayaki. Yeah, Munyo Wayaki is right here. The guy was born in 1903 and he died in 1989. So these guys, I hear this is part of the PCEA, you know, it's a burial site. So it's a cemetery. I didn't know these things were here. So these guys are buried here. Yeah, Munyo Wayaki is connected to Chief Wayaki. Yeah. Guido, Senior Guido is telling me Munyo Wayaki actually is related to Chief Wayaki. If you remember very well in the history books, there's Chief Wayaki. So we're in the yard. Yeah, and all the guy just directed us behind the church. I didn't know the Church of the Torch. Is it right there? Behind me? That church was built in 1928. That was again built before independence. 1928. Yebo. Yeah man. I'm with Guido here.
Still touring.
We just came across James
Samuel
Gishuru. Who was this guy?
He was
an MP.
Yeah, an MP.
Honorable MP.
Yeah.
He was for finance.
Was he finance? No, I don't remember.
In whose government? In Moi's government?
Kenyatta's
government.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah man, check this out. James Gishuru. So the question is, why were they buried here? Why were they given the honor to be buried here? I don't know, maybe they were members of the PCEA.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the PCEA is part of the Scottish...
Thogoto is
Scotland. Thogoto land. There's nothing like Thogoto. It was just the Kikuyus.
Yeah.
They could not pronounce Scotland.
Yeah,
so it was like Thogoto land.
Yeah.
Kiongo told me that. His grandpa comes from here. Kiongo, if you hear me, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not just fabricating stuff here. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we just came across some guy called Edwin. Edwin who? Edwin Henry Scott. I'm assuming these are the settlers because if you search on Google, the guy might have died of malaria, but he died at a very early age of 47 years old. But still, we're just wondering, you know, I'm assuming, actually not assuming, this was the graveyard of those guys, the Scottish people that were settlers around Thogoto here. Yeah, man. Interesting, man. Interesting. So they are mixed with these other guys. Wayaki, all these people, they're buried here. So I'm trying to link up the affiliations. Why they were buried here? Was it because they were members of the PCEA, or were they some of the converts that were there during that time? Because I talked about 1908 was before independence. What were those people, or who were the occupants of that church? We're coming there. Yeah, man. So right as so, we just found, we're just wondering, you know. It seems like we're gonna be busy. We're gonna get busy on Google to find out who these guys were and why these guys were buried with these people here. Because some of these guys were born in the 18s and they were buried here. And these are settlers. These are people that were, I might say, they were part of the oppression. Part of the oppression. So I'm wondering why the locals were buried with these people. That's just my question. I'm just wondering why they were buried with these people. You know, what is the affiliation between the churches and the cemetery and the members? You see? Sin. Yeah, man. So once again, you know, we are across the Church of the Torch, right there. And across is the other church of Scotland. Is actually right now PCEA. And these churches, they were built, you know, by the settlers, you know, from Scotland. And yeah, all of them came from Scotland. So the PCEA actually is, it evolved from the Church of Scotland. Yebo, it's me again here. We just came across a graveyard right across the Church of the Torch. And if you go on the other side, the right-hand side, is that church that was built in 1909. The Church of the Torch was built in 1928. I'm assuming when the converts were so many, they upgraded to there in 1928. So this graveyard here, we just found a very prominent minister. I didn't know he came from this side, James Gishuru. For all those who know him, you can Google. And also Munyo Wayaki. I remember when I was a kid, I used to hear Munyo Wayaki was an MP. Also, him is buried here. And I'm assuming there's a lot of prominent Kikuyu leaders that were buried here. So my question is, what was the affiliation of the church and these guys? Were they buried here because they were members of the church? And also I can see in this graveyard, I'm sure the pioneers were the Scottish, the settlers that came here from Europe. Or in other words, if you might put it, the oppressors, you know? So I'm wondering why these people are buried together with them. That's just my question. I just want to understand, you know, why would you get buried together with the people that were oppressing you? Because some of them were born in 18 something, you know, the other couple centuries ago. Yeah, so this is it. Bless up! Yebo, this is Africa. Seeking for the truth. Yebo. Yeah, man. I'm back. Right there. That's the Church of Scotland. Right now is PCEA. It was built in 1909. We just came from the graveyard. The Church of the Torch is across. So I'm gonna put a picture of that or a video of that. Yeah, right there in the background. That's the Church of the Torch, built in 1928. So across, on the other side, behind it, that's where the cemetery is. So around here, there's a lot of Scottish influence around here. This is where a lot of those settlers settled. We are seeking for the truth. Yebo, history. Yebo. Once again, I'm just puzzled, you know. I'm wondering, because in the struggle, in every struggle, there's always collaborators. So I'm wondering, because our independence did not come easily, there's a lot of people that lost their lives. A lot of people never had any privileges. You're just there. I'm just wondering, those guys who were buried with these people, the settlers or the Scots, whatever, the British, were they part of the struggle or were they part of the collaborators? That's just my question. I just want to know. Yeah, man. If you take it personal, that's you. But I want to know, who are these guys and why were they buried with those guys at that time? Because some of them died very long time ago, before our independence. Chonjo, Yebo. So, this one here, man, I'm still, bro, don't get me wrong. Do not misquote me. But I'm just wondering, our great-grandpas during the colonial times, They could not even put on slacks. You know what I mean? You see, like this one. You see, I could not rock that. During the colonial times, you tell me, every African male was supposed to wear shorts. You know, shorts. What do you call them in English? The English. How do you call shorts? A pair of khaki captulas. It's not a laughing matter, but that's what I'm saying. Getting the privilege of getting buried together in a cemetery with the settlers. What was behind that? I really want to know. I'm telling you, I'm still there. I want to know. You could not put on slacks. You know, look, you see? No slacks. And you're going to share the graveyard with them. I want to know. Nataka kujua. Don't get me wrong. The people that come from here, I need an answer. I need to know the truth.